It's the Sunday Papers Podcast with Mike and Greg. Read all about it.
Check, check, check. That seems pretty good. I think we'd rather it lower than higher.
Oh, I only need one of these on. All right, I'm going to stop my recording and start it again. Stop the recording and go.
All right.
One, two.
Got it. Am I doing got it
again? There we go. Hey now. All right, let's clap it in. 3, 2, 1.
There's Greg's clap, and here comes my clap while holding a microphone. 3, 2, 1. There it is.
Hey now. Read all about it. Hear ye, hear ye. Get your papers. Get your Sunday paper. Find out what you missed this week. Sunday papers. My buddy here's got apples because it's the 1920s, 30s.
It's an apple cart? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it's an apple cart kid. He's a friend of mine.
All right.
He's a good guy.
One-man performance going on. I like this.
His father's an Irish drunk. He's a tavern owner, and he gambles.
Street life, man. It's tough.
Yep.
So the makeup you said kind of, I shouldn't lean too close. Does it look better when I'm back here?
Further back, the better.
Anyway, thank God hardly anyone watches this. But I had that we talked about last week, that dumb dermatology procedure.
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, you're going to be bruised for 7 to 10 days. I'm like, that would have been nice knowing that before I sat in your chair. And I'm like, well, I'm a fast healer. I go, it's not going to be around in 7 days. It's around in 7 days, it turns out.
Yeah.
And really black and blue. And my face was so, all right. I go, all right, so this is what the procedure was. Because of rosacea, got these cysts under my skin. Anyway, then scars. And I think some people listening, and I think I talked about this last week. So they go underneath the surface of your skin, and they just razor blade scar tissue that's causing these little divots. So that's what the procedure is. Fine. So I go in and I'm sitting there.
It's like whalers. When whalers go in and they separate the blubber from the whale with those harpoons that have razors on the edge.
It's exactly what it is, actually.
Right.
And so, but they have to get under the surface. So it's like a needle, and the end of the needle is flattened. So it's a razor on both sides. And then they what is that? A sickle? What is that thing? Whatever.
Yes,
anyway.
It's a sickle.
So anyway, so what he does is I sit in the chair, and they do other procedures in this place. Like in the waiting room are all these women, and they're going, and it's plastic surgery.
Small titty women waiting, big titty women coming out.
So I get in the chair, and so he goes, all right, so first we're going to just numb it. So he starts, and it is so painful. And he's like, he kind of chuckles at one point. He's like, how you holding up? I'm like, all right. And he goes, I see how hard you're grabbing the chair. And he goes, and it always cracks me up because women endure this so much better than men.
Yeah.
And it's
course.
not like, because childbirth, because so many of the young women don't even know what childbirth is. But I think they're so much more focused on the results that they're like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, and all of a sudden it's like being in a dentist chair when it goes bad. Like I felt my back sweat, I definitely know I was going to leave. So cut to the end of the procedure is not long at all. And that's the most painful part because then as long as you can ignore what he's doing as his hand is moving furiously next to your face and just block that out. There's no pain because you're all numb. You know what I mean? It's exactly like the dentist. So when he's extracting a tooth. So we're kind of done. He's like, okay, you're done. I'm like, I go, all right, what about aftercare procedure? He's like, no, none. And I'm like, well, I mean, what about should I ice this tonight? Or I can feel it's kind of swollen, right? And he's like, yeah, no, you're fine. And I'm like, all right. And he's dabbing it. And he's like, and the bleeding will stop. I'm like, the bleeding hasn't stopped. And so anyway, he's so in just casual about it. And I go, well, should I put arnica on it? I go, what could speed along the healing here? And he's like, and basically it was like, no, you're fine. And he's like, so go out, make an appointment to see me in a month. And then we'll see you in a month. I'm like, fine. So I walk out in the lobby and people look at me and then like look down.
Uh-huh.
And I'm because probably no one wants to make
And
eye
you have no
contact.
bandages on. This is just your
No,
face.
no, nothing. And so then I talked to the woman about making a month, and I can't do that day, this day. So back and forth like 5 times. And of course, it's like a therapist office. Like no one wants to really make eye contact and see each other in there. You're all going in to do some procedure, right? That's very personal. Anyway, I get to my car. I look in my car. There is blood coming down my face, and it looks like a car ran over my head.
Oh.
And I'm like, how did anyone stay in the waiting room after seeing me?
Oh my
If
God.
I had seen me come out, I would have left this doctor. I would have been
Right.
like, this guy is reckless.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
what a hack job mistake. Like, did he just escape? It looks like I escaped. It looks like I somehow got out of the operating room. from
Villagers
some
with
experiment.
torches are following you out the door.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I saw you sent me a picture that day, and it looked like you'd been stomped in a street fight.
I couldn't believe how swollen my face was just from that procedure, because there was no blunt force. It was just a sharp razor going underneath. I mean, I guess he was rough with it, but oh my God. So what a waiting room to sit in there. I can't even imagine. I mean, I don't know if the guy does nose jobs. I don't think so. I think it's more like, less intense stuff.
Yeah.
And Botox, I think.
It
you
is
don't
funny,
even
those waiting
know.
rooms where everybody's eyeballing each. Like I know going to the therapist and sitting there, and there's always like some 16-year-old girl who's super skinny, and you're like, "Yup, got it." And then there's like a woman who looks hard and vulnerable, and you think, "Just got divorced." Like everybody's sizing each other up. But that waiting room, yeah, it must have been like the itty bitty titty committee and the itty lippy titty the itty bitty lip committee. Waiting to go in there.
I don't know how big his procedures get. Like, I don't know if he does lipo. I can't imagine he does breast jobs. Like, in other words, I think it's more dermatology.
Yeah.
I don't think there's reconstruction going on. I don't think. But like lips, I mean, people must leave with the most giant lips ever after injections. Like that's an easy one to guess, right?
Oh yeah, the lips are huge. I know my mother got a whole face job done at one point. It was so funny because my mother I never thought of my mom as vain, but my mother was very pretty when she was younger. She was she won a beauty contest, as a matter of fact, in the Bronx, the Rose of Tralee pageant.
Wow.
She was Miss Rose of Tralee. And I saw pictures of her, and I'm like, God damn, you were hot, Mom. And so as she got old, I'm just saying, do you have more pictures?
Mom,
photoshopping me out of the pictures as a little kid.
Mom, we're doing a little questionnaire at school. So how long did I breastfeed?
Ma, do you have any pictures of us at the beach? Like all of us at the beach, maybe in the waves?
Remember when? Do you have pictures of me in the right after the delivery room where I'm on? They put me on your chest, right?
There's no videos of the actual birth. I mean, just I doubt they had cameras back then, but
gross. And she listens. Hello. She did listen.
She'll forget.
We could say anything now because she just turned it off.
Yeah, well, she's coming out here for her 80th birthday in a few weeks.
Yep.
And we're very excited to have her out. My sister will be visiting for the 3rd time in 22 years, so that's nice.
Yeah, it sure is. Well, you kind of handled those with your visits there.
We
you
go
stayed
there
at that house
twice
a lot.
year. Yeah, we go to New York a couple times a year. But big news, you'll notice. Well, you may not notice because Mike's Wi-Fi is bad this week because he is in Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
But I happen to have high-speed Wi-Fi in my office now. You guys talked me into it.
Let's see it. It's really not cumbersome at all. It's very
it's very
invisible.
streamlined. Yeah. How's that?
All right. So for the listeners, he just tilted his laptop down. And it looks like you are putting on a giant concert.
Yeah.
And that's what is that even?
It looks like the backup drives for PayPal.
Yeah.
In a fucking desert bunker.
It's literally like a 12 inches wide, 12 inches high, a bunch of different black boxes.
5 of them. Yeah. I'm very upset about it because, it's part of it is that, they said anybody who gets internet knows this. Regular internet, just internet, is $60. Internet with a phone in the package is $50. They charge you less money to take the phone. And I think it's because telemarketers want everybody to have a home phone. A home phone. That's how I talk now.
Who are these people?
Who are these people? So anyway, we got high-speed Wi-Fi. No more complaints from you guys about my freezing, etc. Also, I want to mention last night, I don't know if you remember this, but last January, I did a feature film with Doug Stanhope.
Oh, right.
Called Road Dog.
Near Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah, we shot it mostly in Chicago. And I went to a screening last night. I saw it. It's fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really Doug Stanhope is a seriously good actor. Look, he's playing himself. He's playing a drunk, not completely himself, but like he plays a drunk who's like on his last legs. Yeah. And his son comes and finds him. He's abandoned his son since the kid was a baby, and the kid now finds him, and the kid is trying to be a comedian, and it's their story, like going gig to gig together. But outstanding. I saw it, and it's so funny because it was at there's this very cool little screener place, the Cinema Lounge in Hollywood.
Oh yeah. I've never been. Well, wait, maybe I have been once. Yeah.
And
okay.
So it was just cool seeing all the movie geeks come out, and people loved it. And there's some talk about Sundance.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, when's the first time I'd be able to see it?
I'm sure they'll do more screenings here. I'll invite you out, and maybe we'll invite 2 lucky listeners.
Oh my goodness, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Yes.
All right, I like that a lot.
But if it goes to Sundance, dude, we'll go to fucking Sundance together, and then we'll head up to see Jack in Wyoming.
Look at this plan. I love it.
I already looked it up on the map. It's 4 hours and 20 minutes away.
Easy drive. I did. What's the other one in Idaho? Not Sundance. Whatever. That's the drive. Whatever. Last Christmas, crazy with snow, and then the shortest way was closed because of snow, and it is quite shorter than the way I had to take getting there, and it's from Sun Valley.
Did you have some car issues also?
No, the flights, that's when they were canceling because of COVID. They were canceling all flights. It was last New Year's. And so what I did was I immediately went on the app and saw, because of so many canceled flights, there were a lot of canceled rental cars in Sun Valley.
Oh, that's what it was, yeah.
And so I flew to Sun Valley, rented a car, and drove to Jackson.
Yeah.
And took everything out of me.
Okay.
Anyway, we'll have an easier drive.
We asked last week for some logos. We got a bunch of them. Thank you to our listeners for responding.
Very cool.
The song contest will begin officially next week. And we decided that we're going to roll out our 5 favorite songs over the next 5 weeks. You guys are going to vote, and then we're going to pick a song or maybe keep all 5. That's what we decided in the meeting.
All right. Yes. I have a vague recollection of that, as in there was no meeting, but sounds good to me.
This week's song comes from Ryan Pappas, a very kind of Tom Waits sounding thing. I liked what he did on guitar. And the logo this week, very funny logo from Bruce Wise. He made it a while ago and meant to send it and didn't. So if it seems a little dated, it's not, because Chris Rock has now talked about the slapping incident and said that it's not a big deal, and it's not like he got sent to the hospital or anything.
And did you see, I imagine this came after it, I'm not sure, but Will Smith just went public again with another apology and said he's ready to talk whenever Chris is.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, how nice.
If they were smart, they would do like a 60 Minutes or an Oprah. They should do Oprah. That would be good. I mean, that helps everybody.
I guess. I don't know. I don't want Oprah getting she's so whatever. I mean, she's the worst interviewer in history.
Well, who should do it?
That's a
Letterman?
good question.
I don't think Will Smith would let Stern do it.
Stern would be the best.
Yeah.
Stern would be the best. Everyone is they're gonna like soft pedal, like Chris Rock has nothing to. I mean, it's a one-sided issue.
No, I think it'll just be interesting to see how Chris lets Will off the hook. You know, it'll be so cathartic for everybody. It'll be a moment of healing that everybody wants.
Maybe
mixed
Rogan.
With humor.
What about Rogan? In a cage.
I think the N-word barrage might work against that happening.
I'm not saying the likelihood. We're fantasizing about who would do the best job.
Yeah. Now, Stern would do the best job, but I think Letterman would also do an excellent job.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know, I just saw an interview
Chappelle?
with... Oh, that's good.
You know, Chappelle took that angle. He saw little of himself in both of them. And I think Kendrick Lamar sort of touched on that angle as well. And in that insane video where his face turned into, Will Smith's. So I think someone who's coming in it with that level of empathy would be great. Would be great.
Yeah. Did you see, I saw an interview with Letterman and who the fuck was interviewing him? I can't remember, but he basically fessed up that all the Andy Kaufman stuff, Andy always told him about it first. Like the Jerry Lawler thing, the slap, he knew about it. That was good acting on Letterman's part.
I think it might have been Stern, wasn't it?
Was it on Stern? Oh, I think it was on Stern. Yeah, it was on Stern.
No, I saw a clip of that also. Yeah, that Andy was always so nice and everything and, very worried about, pulling it off and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Corrections from last week. Apparently you fucked up. Hoagie Carmichael wrote Stardust song. Willie Nelson's Stardust was the name of an album containing some of his favorite iconic songs.
Oh, you know what? He's right.
And then Rick Schwartz writes, Hoagie also wrote such classics as Georgia on My Mind. Let me tell you something. Georgia on My Mind, in my house growing up, when that song came on the radio, everything stopped. It was like our fucking family. I don't know why. My dad loved it. Ray Charles singing Georgia on My Mind. Nothing better than that.
That's what I would have done. That would have been the move in your house when your dad was getting a little aggressive with you guys. I think that's the moment maybe to throw that tune on.
As he's in his wind-up, just go, Georgia.
You're like wincing, waiting for the blow, and then like you slowly look up and he's crying.
Just an old sweet song.
And he's like, don't move, son, for 3 minutes and 23 seconds.
While I cry. I'm crying now. You're going to be crying in a minute.
Yeah.
He also appeared in the Flintstones as himself, remarkably.
Wow.
They didn't change his name a la Stoney Curtis or Ann Magrock, but he did wear their prehistoric garb. So that's pretty cool.
Did Tony Curtis do his own voice? Also, wasn't there Rock Hudson? I think Rock Hudson was in the...
Interesting.
And did they change his name? Because he has the perfect Flintstones name, Rock Hudson.
He does. And he could also be pretending to be somebody he's not.
I wonder if Chris could look up, did those big stars, big movie stars, do their own voices in the Flintstones?
By the way, we have to go easy on Chris this week. He's suffering with something called COVID-19. And
I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
I thought he was just sick.
No, he's very sick with the COVID-19. So
I thought he had a bout
we
of
salute you for
hypochondria.
showing up. Not only that, but St. Louis is underwater right now.
So I'm in Nashville, and just north of here is a state, I'm told, called Kentucky. They are having it really bad with flooding, and now St. Louis is also in very bad shape.
Well, isn't Kentucky? I just picture floods. Like people put fucking pool slides on their roof. It's constant. They're always flooded.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
All right. I got maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. You know, what will be interesting is to watch where fires start to pop up. Like where they kind of never had, obviously California is constantly on fire, although it wasn't always constant.
Right.
And I'm wondering what other states, like Arizona started, Utah, but like the Rockies, I know they've had, Colorado had a bad one also.
Had a lot of fires last year.
Yeah. So I'm wondering, but now all of a sudden, like, the Adirondacks and the Appalachia, like, in other words, I'm wondering if fires will start to be a problem sort of everywhere.
Oh, Chris is typing in very slowly. His fingers are heavy with the COVID-19. Stars voiced themselves on Flintstones.
Oh, wow.
Waiting for a paste. Oh, Jesus Christ. And he just erased it.
It's at a COVID pace.
Right. Yeah.
A COVID pace.
You know where else is going to be flooding with laughter?
Oh.
Vancouver and Ottawa next week, where I will be performing with Louis C.K. at some stadiums. And then Jonathan's in Agunquit, Maine on August 11th. Manchester, New Hampshire at Chunky's Cinema Pub, August 12th and 13th. Get those tickets. I don't know where you get tickets for Chunky's Cinema Pub. I think probably a guy dressed as a bear out front. And then I will be in Lowell, Arkansas, September 16, 17 at the Grove. New Orleans, Lafayette, Chicago, October 15th at the Den Theater, just announced.
It
San
still
Francisco.
says Lowell AZ.
I know. What is it, AK or AR?
What, Arkansas?
Yeah.
AR.
All right.
There we go.
And then also Tampa, Florida, and Plano, all that coming up in the fall. All right, here's some. And Marg Rock came on as herself.
Okay.
She sang, she danced, she helped Fred and Betty get... How sexy was Anne Margaret? Jesus Christ.
She was sort of crazy sexy.
She was like my mom.
Eddie, she popped off the screen. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, I know
Did you ever see the audition?
Jokes, but she was charismatic.
She came in when you ever see the video? She was a nobody, and she came in and she auditioned for a role and took over the casting room. And I mean, you look it up. It's like, it's something you see where you go like, oh, you're going to be the biggest star in Hollywood. Like you see it in 3 minutes.
And back then, I think they were like, oh, everyone is going to sleep with you and they're going to give you roles. I'm not even kidding. I think someone like that hits the scene and all those pigs back then were just like, where am I in line? Sadly, I think that's really what happened.
Ed Sully Stone as Ed Sullivan, but it wasn't really played by him.
Oh, all right.
Rock Quarry stars a Rock Hudson alike who is sick of Holly Rock and wants to live like Johnny Straphanger.
Wow, Flintstones got a little crazy.
It was not voiced by him, though. And Stoney Curtis, Mr. Tony Curtis, himself voiced the character in Season 5's The Return of Stoney Curtis. Very cool.
That is very cool.
You know what else is very cool? Having sunglasses on, Mike. Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
I love this company. Sunglass season is here. No better the option than Shady Rays. Shady Rays is an independent sunglass company that offers world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. I still haven't. I got the, I'm forgetting what style, but I think it's called the Classic. And it's like this wood grain design, and it's really cool, and I love them.
I got the black ones. They're like Blues Brothers looking glasses, and I wear them at the beach, and they cover my eyes completely, so nobody can see where I'm looking.
Oh, how gross. Well, when you're at the beach with your mom, we know where you're looking.
Hey, now.
And so, and I want to get, because now they do prescription. I mentioned this last week. So I want to get the prescription ones. Anyway, they're independent company, which is also what I love. World-class product, just as good as any expensive pair we've worn. Durable frames, extremely clear, polarized lenses for outdoor living and beyond. That's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. We've talked a lot about this. Every pair is backed by the lost and broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Get as crazy as you want this summer and wear your Shady Rays with confidence, like you at the beach, looking at all types of women, hopefully. Women. They also, well, whatever. Look at whoever you want. Maybe that's why you have them, Greg. Maybe you're not looking at women. I see your thing now.
You looked pretty good on the beach on Sunday, Mike.
Shady Rays will enable you to do that. And they don't care. They're not judging. They also provide 10 meals to fight hunger in America with every order and have donated over 20 million meals to date. Look good in your shades and feel good by making an impact. If you don't love them, exchange them for a new pair or return them for free within 30 days. No risk when you shop with Shady Rays. Their team always has your back. All right. So exclusively for you guys, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use the code PAPER, PAPER, for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 200,000 people. Shadyrays.com.
I'll tell you what, the future's so bright. I need some Shady Rays.
There's their new slogan.
Let's.
All right. Are we doing the news?
Future's so bright, I need sunglasses.
I don't know. Are you confusing that? Are you confusing it with I wear my sunglasses at night?
Nope.
Oh. Okay.
All right, let's get to the front page.
That little guy. All right, go ahead. Who did I wear my sunglasses at night? Like that was his one song. He was on MTV. Colin or I'm forgetting. All right. What do we got here? I loaded the document this week. You're going to notice a lot less sex stories this week.
Oh, shit. There goes our listeners.
There was even one that I was going to put in here, and I'm like, no.
Corey Hart, sunglasses at night.
Yeah. What did I say? Colin? I was close. There was some story. I forget what it was, and I didn't do it. All right, here we go.
Extra! Extra! Read all about it! Extra!
We're going to continue this WNBA story. The U.S. has offered a deal to Russia aimed at bringing home WNBA star Brittany Griner.
Finally.
And another jailed American, Paul Whelan, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said on Wednesday. Blinken's comments mark the first time the U.S. government has publicly revealed any concrete action it has taken to secure the release of Griner, who was arrested on drug-related charges at a Moscow airport in February. She had weed in her bag, right?
She had hash oil.
A person familiar with the matter said the U.S. government has offered to trade convicted Russian arms dealer Victor Bout for Whelan and Griner and another player to be named later. I'm kidding. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is the biggest trade ever in WNBA history.
Yes.
Though.
Yes.
And the only one anyone knows about.
The only one's ever heard of an WNBA trade before. And believe me, the guy they're trading, the Russian guy that's been here, he's relieved because as punishment, they've been making him play in the WNBA. He's 5'5", 225 pounds, leading scorer last year.
Nice. By the way, and people have commented on this, I think, but imagine every person currently, right now, sitting in jail for marijuana charges, and now the government is releasing a convicted Russian arms dealer to free an American who got caught bringing weed on a flight.
Yeah.
Like, how upside down is this? I mean, if you didn't hate the NBA at this point, you're not going to be a fan now.
Well, I'll tell you what. People need to shut the fuck up and get their
Oh.
faces. Do you understand geopolitical maneuvering, Mike Gibbons? Do you understand the complexity of
Is this
deals
above
that are
my pay
made
grade? I think. Yeah.
with despots overseas? I mean, you bring Americans home. Period. You get it done. And if this is what they're going to make us do, we do it. We get these 2 Americans home and stop. I'm tired of Joe Q fucking Lunchbox weighing in on how these deals are made. You don't know all the details. You know what the press feeds you. You know what the government trickles out to satisfy you. But the truth is, there's a lot more going into this deal than you could ever imagine. So shut the fuck up, and it's not affecting your life. Bring this woman home. And I guess the guy. I want to know more about him.
What about just taking a way less popular WNBA star, like 4 of them, and that's the trade? Like, get the star home and get these other 4 who no one cares about.
Right. Send some bench warmers over there.
Yeah. Or what about like Yakov Smirnov? Why don't we return Baryshnikov?
Oh, that's good.
Return Baryshnikov. Return some famous defector.
Yep.
Like here, that's an apple for an apple.
It's curious that Putin wants this guy back because he basically stole weapons from Russia and sold them to the U.S. Why is he trying to get him back?
Huh. He's a convicted. So we didn't convict him? Russia convicted him?
No, we convicted him, but I guess maybe they want to have their own trial for him because he also fucked them over.
So we convicted him for giving us arms?
Yeah.
I don't know. You're right. You're right. I don't know how this big thinking works.
Right.
I have a feeling that's not what went down, but Victor Bout probably doesn't like this deal.
No,
Will he be killed?
he'd rather be in an American prison than a Russian prison for sure.
All right, we got to learn more about Victor Bout.
That's what we can tell these fucking people that are making a big deal out of this is he's going to a worse place. We're not doing this guy any favors.
Unless he really was like, they want him back to keep doing the dirty shit he does.
No.
And he gets another try at it.
Putin wants to flex his muscles and make us look bad by making a bad trade because they know that we will do whatever it takes to bring Americans home. And he's taking advantage of that to try to make us look bad.
If Chris is still awake, Chris, right above the Springsteen story we're going to do, can you Google the documentary Icarus? And did you see it, Greg?
Yeah.
And find that Russian doctor's name who had to disappear. I wonder if there's been any updates on that guy. If you have not seen the documentary Icarus, it's pretty amazing. And I won't say anything more, but it has twists and turns, man. And it is pretty incredible. But there's a guy there who had to disappear, kind of like this Victor Bout, which is he could probably disappear right now. And I'm wondering if there's been any updates on him. I bet there's none.
If I was Joe Biden, right now everybody perceives him as such a fucking feeble old fuck. He should take this guy, what's his name? Blinken? No, who's the guy they're trading? The Russian guy? Oh, Bout. Victor Bout. Take Victor Bout out onto the steps of the Capitol, put a gun to his head, and fucking fire, and then just walk inside.
Huh.
That would be gangster.
Have you sent this idea to Washington? Because I'm surprised you're still in your office if you have. All right, the guy was Dr. Grigory Rodchenko. And the update from, thank you, Chris, is Rodchenko has been living in hiding under witness protection. I kind of guessed that was the update. There's going to be no update on that guy. Russia wants to kill him so badly. So I guess I am spoiling the documentary a little. Anyway, all right, next story. You ready, pal?
Let's do it.
Bruce Springsteen's manager, John Landau, responds after many criticized Ticketmaster's, quote, dynamic pricing system, which included prices of $1,000 or more. I think it actually went up to $5,000. Quote, in pricing tickets for this tour, we looked very carefully at what our peers have been doing, Landau said in a statement to the New York Times. We chose prices that are lower than some and on par with others. Regardless of the commentary about a modest number of tickets costing $1,000 or more, our true average ticket price has been in the mid $200 range. I believe that in today's environment, that is a fair price to see someone universally regarded as among the very greatest artists of his generation. That is a big justification for this rather shady Ticketmaster policy.
Yeah, it's total bullshit. And I mean, it's like, how much money do these fucking people need? How much money does Bruce Springsteen have? If I had that much money, every tour at this point would be a victory lap. It would be a party. It would be $20 tickets. I want my real fans, pack them in. And if I break even, I made $2 million in royalties alone today. I don't need to gouge my fucking fans. This is the guy whose lyrics, his wardrobe, his persona, everything is about the working man and about how riches are bad. Poor man want to be rich. Rich man want to be king. And the king ain't satisfied till he rules everything. Here's another lyric of his. There was once a time when everything was cheap, but now prices almost put a man to sleep. When we pay our grocery bill, we just feel like making our will. Tell me, how can a poor man stand such times and live?
Well, that's one of the biggest problems in America is the bosses are making too much money, pal.
Wait, you just froze. You froze.
Oh, good. It was the worst joke ever, but they heard it on the podcast. I was just saying the problem with America is that bosses are making too much money compared to everybody else. But so the Rolling Stones, the last time it was like, I think actually I came here to see Ben at the Ryman to Nashville. So it was like in the spring. Anyway, Stones played the Forum. Big show that had been canceled, I think, or delayed. So anyway, Ticketmaster, they were so fucking expensive. I got 4 tickets because my sister and brother-in-law wanted to go. So expensive. All of a sudden then I had to sell 2 of them, I think, because I couldn't go. And Ticketmaster, meanwhile, another show was added. So now my value is plummeted because there's 2 shows in the Forum when there had only been 1. Then I tried to sell it I was like, I just need some money back. I'm not going to make my money back. I try to go on the website and resell it for less money. Ticketmaster's website, I believe I have this right. Someone can write in. They wouldn't let me sell it for less than the face value, which is
really?
What's up with that? Huh. And the amount of fees I had to pay to buy my ticket, and then the amount of fees I had to pay to sell it. It's just such a racket.
Ticketmaster, when you think about an artist, like a mid-level artist that's really struggling because they've got to hire an 18-wheeler, they've got to have tour managers, they've got to pay everybody in the band, they've got equipment, they've got publicity to do, they've got, and then on top of that, so they're going to charge $30, $40 a ticket, and they're going to probably take maybe 5 of those dollars. You know who's taking 10 of those dollars? Ticketmaster. Why? Because they have some software that allows people to buy the tickets. It's a fucking scam.
And tickets in my section were way cheaper that Ticketmaster was selling than I bought. Like even the rows in front of me. And it's because of this dynamic pricing. And I know there might be argument for like fair market, whatever, but it's just, and I know John, what's his name?
Landau?
No. On HBO, the British, from
Oliver?
the Daily Show. John Oliver did a great segment on how criminal Ticketmaster is right now.
Oh, really?
And how dark and shady it is. And, one of his jokes in it was, if Pearl Jam in the 90s couldn't move the needle and take a bite out of Ticketmaster and all these practices, then no one can.
Right. Pearl Jam announced a war on Ticketmaster, and they lost. They also lost. They also lost the war on drugs. Pearl Jam in the 90s. So
yeah,
they were 0-2.
They won the war on fashion with that with the grunge look, with the cargo shorts. They won the war on fashion with cargo shorts.
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's a complete fucking scam.
Also,
Ticketmaster, and somebody can correct me on this, but I believe Ticketmaster is also owned by Live Nation.
It is.
So yeah, and Live Nation also owns all the major radio stations in the country. Not all of them, but a lot of, like, they own a major radio station in every city in America. So if you want to tour, you can't get, if you're going to compete against the Live Nation event, you're not going to get on the local radio.
And they now are owning venues. I think they own the Fabulous Forum.
And they manage talents. So they commission you on your income. They commission you by taking the ticket money. They make money on the venue, and they make money because you're coming into their radio station, which gets them listeners.
Irving Azoff, who, put it this way, he is very powerful. I think he's either owns or is head or one of the top executives at Live Nation and owns the Forum, part owner, obviously, in some way, and managed Christina Aguilera and all that. And actually, Wheeler Walker Jr. Was in with him a little bit as well at one point. That's how I got to learn most of it. Anyway, but famously was the Eagles manager. And in the Eagles documentary, which this wasn't cut out, this was in the Eagles documentary, I think one of them goes, and Irving, listen, Irving's the devil, but at least he was our devil. Like, wow. He is the shadiest. No, and then apparently there are stories about Irving Azoff where it got allegedly got criminal. And I think if you Google him and some of his nefarious stories about him, which may or may not be true, but you'll see people incredibly beat up. So I think there was some muscle there as well back when he was a manager. So anyway.
Should we mention, by the way, shout out to Wheeler Walker, who we saw a couple nights ago here in LA, did a killer show.
He said he saw you leave.
He did?
Yeah, that's what he said when we went backstage and met with him and stuff. Yeah. He said, no, I saw him leave. And because I go, hey, he sends his best. He just had to get home and all this. Dude, how about the quality of music?
Well, first of all, that band is insane. They are so fucking good. But that's a good and a bad, because it was so loud that I feel like if I want to go see Wheeler Walker, I want to hear every word he's saying, because that's the point of the music, is the lyrics. And the lyrics were getting drowned out by this band. I felt like the sound mix was fucking terrible. There was feedback, and his monitor wasn't working.
Yeah, no, I don't think the Fonda could handle him. When I saw him in the Ryman, well, two things. When I saw him in the Ryman, Ryman apparently is one of the most legendary, great sound places. Yeah, it was a church. But boy, was his band tighter is not the right word in music. Tight means good. They were like not feeling it as much. And then, so when I went backstage, and I said that to you during the show, and before we went in, I think I said that to you. I go, he has this great band. And, the one thing I said to him after the Ryman is like, man, let him play. And so that's what we just kept exchanging looks. Like, we couldn't believe how great they were. Yeah. And then, so backstage, the guy goes, oh, thanks, man. And I'm like, are you guys all the same people? Because I thought maybe a new guitarist would explain this or something. And he's like, no, you know what? The Ryman was our first public performance together. Oh. And I'm like, all right, well, that totally makes sense now.
Yeah. I mean that guitarist can wail. He's so fast.
And then the steel guitar, and of course the keyboardist, who's the nicest guy. Like they were anyway. If you can see him, I think he's up in Santa Cruz coming up, maybe. Anyway, just go, because the mistake you'll make is you'll go there thinking, oh, I'm seeing a comedy musical act, these funny lyrics and all this. Yeah. And Oh my God, the musicianship is fantastic.
It's fantastic. It's as good as it gets. It really is.
Oh, you missed a mosh pit. A mosh pit formed after you left.
No.
Not joking. I even have footage of it. They went crazy during the last 2 songs because they knew it was over, and they were at their most drunk on a Tuesday night.
Now, what's your impression of the audience? Because I couldn't tell if they, like, there were guys wearing American flags and stuff like that, and you start to go, now, are these guys Republicans? Because at some point they started chanting that what is that Brandon thing that they always say?
Let's go Brandon. No, they did chant that a lot.
Was that ironic, or were they or were they doing that seriously?
I think they were doing it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a mixed bag. And I told you, you might have been with me the other time we saw him in LA.
Yeah.
And he goes, this next song is about the greatest country in the world, America. And the place goes fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And you could see even Ben was like a little surprised, like he like kind of stepped back. And then he decides to double down. He's like, a country that's never, ever made a mistake. And they're all like, yeah.
And then how about Jason Ellis as the opening act?
Oh my God.
Jesus, that was hardcore.
So he's recently out? Is that what you told me? He's recently out of the closet?
I think he's talked over the years about being bi-curious and then having had some bi affairs. I think they had like some devil's triangles with his wife, with 2 guys and 1 girl. And then it's evolved into
Is that what it's called, a devil's triangle?
Yeah, or the Kavanaugh triangle. And and so they but now it's just he goes on Grindr and fucks guys, and he was talking about as descriptive as a human being could be about gay sex. And
He begged all of us to take a dick up the ass.
Yes.
Begged all of us.
He said you can have a hands-free orgasm if you take a dick up the ass. Anyway, so I was curious because the audience liked him. I think he felt tentative, but you're playing at you're doing stand-up at a rock show. It's never going to be like everybody listening. Everybody's going to talk a lot. But I thought it was a good show.
Well, there was so much talking, and then they started chanting "Let's go, Brandon" at one point. But he had the right attitude, which was, he goes, "Do you guys want to hear? Should I do more? Should we just get to this show, which is going to be amazing?" Like he knew they were not there to see him or even his style of art. You know what I mean? Like they were not there to see someone talk.
Yeah.
And that's how it ended. Remember? And he's like, you know what? I can't do anymore.
Yeah. He bailed. But Jason Ellis,
which was great.
I'm supposed to do his podcast. He doesn't have his radio show anymore. He has a podcast.
Totally go do his podcast just to talk about this that night.
Yeah. I got to do it.
And the stories he told were insane. They were real stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he even asked, he goes, "Do you want me to finish that story?" Even because something got distracted. He dealt with something in the crowd. And then he comes back and says, do you guys even want me to finish that? And everyone's like, yeah. And most of the crowd was like, yes.
Well, it was a story about him having a devil's 3-way with China, who's now is China transsexual or is she just a large woman?
I thought just a large woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he had a 3-way with her and another guy.
What was his line about sex with China? It was having sex with, what was it?
Oh, yeah. What was it?
It wasn't like,
he didn't know her clit was so big.
Well, there's that. But he said something like, it was like a car.
It was like riding a tractor with uneven wheels or something.
Yeah, like
with
you
different
just hold on.
Wheels. You
just hold on for dear life, and you don't know where it's going to go or something like that.
You're
yeah.
Right. All right, let's get to the twerking girls.
Wait, back to Springsteen. I just want to say, when you back to the twerking girls, we haven't even started it. But I will say this. I wrote it as a joke, but this will happen. Is like if all of a sudden $1,000 is the going price, even though they said a small percentage was sold at that. By the way, he means a small percentage per venue, but he has like 40 dates in America before he goes to Europe or something like that. So it's a lot of people were forced to pay $1,000. So that's 20 song set, which is about what he does. I looked up. I think he did 22 in like one of his last concerts that wasn't on Broadway. That's $50 a song. If he plays Dancing in the Dark, I want fucking $50 back.
Oh, come on. Dancing in the Dark. I want that song played. That's where he brings a girl up on stage. Remember, it was what's her name from Friends?
Courtney
Yeah.
Cox. No. Still, at $50 a song, and knowing that other people in my row are paying $50 for the same song.
Yeah.
No
yeah,
way.
Right,
No
right.
way.
Hey, by the way, Springsteen is also notorious for not paying his band well. And then he left them. He left the E Street Band for about a decade, if not longer, and played with just hired guns.
I believe I have this right, which is the E Street Band, that phrase has never appeared on a Springsteen album. And maybe that's changed in the last 10 years. I doubt it, though. But and I, in my mind, had Greetings from Asbury Park. Like, I had Bruce Springsteen, the E Street Band. Like, in my memory, I could see it, and I was wrong.
I feel like I can see it on an album.
Same.
Maybe I'm thinking of a concert poster. But, I mean, look, there's no bigger... I'm as big
They
as
were all
Springsteen...
just paid for hire.
I'm a big a Springsteen fan as you are a Dylan fan, and I hate to say these bad words about him, but there's a part of him that's unlikable. This
When you
greedy
listen
part
to his
of him.
when you listen to his book, which I did, I listened to his book because he read it, and my summary, my review was, it's like 22 hours, or it's something huge, but it's 18 hours of blaming his dad. And besides that, you find out he was way more California guy, believe it or not, most of his life until the 94 earthquake. I mean, almost all of his adult life was spent in California. And then he was living there. The only reason he moved back to Jersey was because of the earthquake. And then he suffered PTSD and had to go to therapy in Jersey because he couldn't sleep through the night because of the earthquake. So,
and he also
anyway,
knows nothing about cars.
yeah, he had to learn how to drive on a cross-country trip in his 20s because the guy had to sleep and he had to take over the stick shift. Anyway, it's pretty funny. But in there, I found him talking too much about money and about, like, he's self-conscious. I think he was dealing with a lot of criticisms he's gotten about not taking care of his band. And he thinks that's a bullshit criticism and spent way too much time. Like, he's clearly self-conscious about it.
Yeah.
You know, I think he feels mixed about it as well. Because you hear about bands who are like, we're going to split the tour. You know, like, I think Pearl Jam famously, like, all those guys are so taken care of, even if they didn't write the song, you know?
No, without Clarence Clemens, Bruce would have been very, very successful, but Clarence took him to another level, especially at live shows.
Totally, but you just want to take care of that family, especially when you don't need
it's like
any more.
There's so much money. Just fucking spread it around. Jesus.
All right.
Anyways, let's talk about something more fun.
I came across this story in the New York Post.
Did you
Oh my
watch the
God.
video of this, by the way?
No, I saw stills from it.
Oh,
You
no, I
watched
watched
it?
the whole video. It's like a 10-minute video. It's insane.
Okay. Headline: Twerking girls host wild booze-fueled pool party on New York City subway. Okay. I was not ready for the end of that headline. Like, sure, twerking girls host booze-fueled pool party. Sure. Where? On a New York City subway. The flash twerk party, it was a flash, like a flash mob thing, on a New York City subway was off the rails, says the New York Post. Strap hangers struggle to hold on to their morals as a collection of voluptuous vixens dressed in skimpy black bikinis jumped, gyrated, and jiggled during a makeshift pool party hosted inside an L train car. What
That's
the
hilarious
fuck is...
because the L train only goes across town, too. It's not a long ride.
What the fuck is going on here? Questioned a stunned Twitter spectator beneath a viral clip of the twerking ladies. The ladies offered up lap dances and shots of liquor to subway passengers during the recent rush hour commute. The chaotically cringeworthy clip shared has fetched over 500,000 Twitter views, and I'm sure since they printed this, it has to be 5 times that. When the unnamed women weren't busily shaking their moneymakers while travelers watched and filmed in awe, the party animals took turns hurling their bodies across a slip and slide that was on the train's floor and lubricated with bottled water. The temptresses enjoyed the rest of their joyride by bouncing their bottoms on the crotches of male bystanders and twerking on each other in an inflatable pool. This is amazing.
Wait, and I'm not allowed to jerk off on the subway anymore?
How about it probably throws off the guy who's already jerking off? He's like, he's jerking off in front of some, like, business casual woman across from him, and all of a sudden this happens?
Yeah, right.
He probably totally lost his rager. Like, what? Wait a minute, what?
Right. But some guys, like, they interacted. Dudes were like, yeah, they were pouring the booze from the bottles into their mouths so they didn't have to put their lips on the bottle. Like, they weren't getting enough diseases from the lap dance these women were.
Right.
I mean, they were literally grinding on their crotches. There was a little person who did the slip and slide and then was fake fucking one of the women who was in a G-string. It was crazy.
That's not fake fucking. That's what the little person looks like when he's really fucking.
Well, look, it's better than a smelly blind guy playing a Michael Jackson song on a ukulele. That's what you usually get on the L train.
Last time, I'm an old New Yorker, it was just some really scary looking guy selling street news. That's the most entertainment I got on the subway.
Yeah.
What was this? This is amazing. And were they like arrested?
I don't think so. I think they probably. I mean, what did they do wrong? Really? They made a scene, but they got off the train.
Well, drinking for sure. And if you're not allowed to entertain, technically allowed to entertain for money unless you're, you get a permit.
Dude,
I mean, they could bust them on a million things.
In the last 10 years, these guys have started doing very high-end acrobatic stuff on the bars and the subway.
Oh,
Have you ever
yeah,
seen one of those shows?
Spider-Man type stuff. Yeah. I have seen that.
Like Cirque du Soleil stuff. Like crazy. I mean,
no, it's really impressive.
I always think about like how people make their livings and how committed you are. Like as a stand-up comedian, like I'm on stage and I just think this is the easiest fucking job in the world, and everybody thinks it's the hardest job in the world. But I think you look at like a stripper, where they do like 8-hour shifts where they are looking in guys' eyes and playing a fantasy for those guys, listening to insipid fucking flirtation and groping, and they do that for 8 fucking hours. Like, nobody earns money like a stripper, And these guys that do these acrobatics in subway cars, like, what are they making? $100 cash for the day? And they are putting their lives in danger, and they are like, fucking, they could be making real money. It's crazy.
It's shocking those strippers have drug or alcohol problems because they have to go through all that. How do they do it sober?
Oh my God. And I'm part of the problem. I've been to a strip club in a long time.
I imagine that's over for us, isn't it?
I think it's over. It's got to be over. It's such a bad look. A guy in his 50s in a strip club is a bad look.
Yeah. And it's no better if you go there because, like, you've gone with other people and now you're just observing. That's even a worse look.
Yeah, that's worse. No, it's over. And I miss it. I miss seeing the beauty of a female body dancing naked to music I hate.
The subway stuff, though, this is what you get when you grow up in New York. Anytime, it doesn't matter where I am. If I'm at like Mardi Gras and there's like the street performers around Jackson Square, if I'm in New York, if I'm in LA, and all of a sudden a guy starts like the guy in front of the museum who's even painted silver and is doing like pop and locking, wherever I am, if there's a spectacle, I instinctively grab my wallet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, something is drawing my attention like crazy towards something. Like, yeah, I am putting my wallet in my front pocket.
Yeah, the workers are not just the guys you see dancing in front of you. Their friends are standing behind you.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Here's one. A New Jersey woman has been sentenced in connection with a GoFundMe scam that raised $400,000 by creating a fake story about a homeless veteran. A federal judge sentenced Caitlin McClune, 32, to one year and 1 day in prison. It's that extra day that gets you.
Yeah, that is the FU. That's the cherry FU on the Sunday.
In 2017, McClure and her then boyfriend Mark D'Amico created a GoFundMe page called Paying It Forward. The couple claimed homeless veteran Johnny Bobbitt, 39, gave McClure his last $20 when she ran out of gas on a Philadelphia highway. The GoFundMe, which initially set a goal of $10,000, reached $400,000. However, the story was completely made up as the couple actually befriended Bobbitt at a local casino. In reality, McClure never ran out of gas, and Bobbitt never spent his last $20 for her, prosecutors said. D'Amico and McClure allegedly conspired to create the false story to obtain money from donors. After D'Amico and McClure spent the majority of the money on vacations, new vehicles, and various expensive items, Bobbitt sued the couple, claiming he only received $75,000 from the donations. You know, you'd think you could trust them. You meet at a casino, you hatch a plot to exploit a disabled vet on the internet. I mean, what's America coming to?
The story had a lot of holes in it. You're out of gas, and $20 is going to get you out of that jam? I don't think.
Right. She ran out of gas on the highway. What was the homeless guy doing on the highway? Aren't they under bridges?
Yeah, what? And a homeless veteran? There's no homeless veterans. Come on, the government takes care of every one of them like they should.
Of course. They fought for the country. They put their lives on the line for our freedom. Why would we let them live on the street? That's crazy.
So, but hold on. I do want to pause. So you can go to jail by raising money on a big lie? What? You mean you can take donors' money and spend it on other things? And if you do that, you go to jail? I haven't seen that happening.
So you can lie about an election being stolen, get $250 million, and not have a charity not have a fund that it's actually been set up for its stated purposes. You don't have to go to jail for that.
Spend it on gains for yourself, like campaigning and your legal fees? Huh.
And your daughter to give a 10-second intro? $60,000? That seems right.
All right. Well, I hope they all go to jail.
A Republican lawmaker attended his gay son's wedding just 3 days
disgusting.
After joining his GOP colleagues in voting against a House bill that would codify federal protections for same-sex marriage. The gay son of Representative Glenn Thompson confirmed on Monday that, quote, he married the love of his life on Friday and that his father was there. Congressman and Mrs. Thomas were thrilled to attend and celebrate their son's marriage on Friday. He was wearing a mask, and it wasn't because he was afraid of COVID, on Friday night as he began this new chapter in his life, adding that the Thompsons are very happy to welcome their new son-in-law into their family.
Mm-hmm.
And they hope that he'll enjoy spending weekends at the house in the closet.
I think his father's defense was, listen, this is just a phase. Kind of like all marriages. This is just a phase. I want to call him the gay parent and the gay parents and the gay father. Like, couldn't you almost do that? Like, you would say the groom's father, and they're talking about the gay son of Representative. Anyway, I want to call this congressman the gay and just confuse things. That's what I'd like to do with this story. Wow.
He's such a hypocrite. I mean, it's just the hypocrisy is incredible. Do you think there's any doubt that if this same congressman had a daughter who was 17 and got pregnant, that he would pay for the abortion after voting to against Roe v. Wade? Do you think there's any doubt?
Especially this guy, because gays run in his family. Right. He can't risk another gay offspring. What is he going to have?
Kill it before it gets gay.
My son's gay. You think I'm going to risk a gay grandson? No way. Kill that thing.
Do we have any good news for Gibbons?
He came to the concert, which was really fun. He enjoyed it. You know, when we went backstage to Wheeler Walker Jr., Jesse Plemons was backstage. Isn't that weird?
Who's that? Is that the guy from Breaking Bad?
Yes, he's from Breaking Bad, but Fargo and
he's great.
And what's the dog Western that was just out?
Yeah,
he got nominated for an Oscar on that.
Yay.
I believe. The gay Western that was out? Yeah, not the first gay Western. Well,
So
you know,
Jesse Plemons was back
Yeah.
there. Nice guy.
really nice and smaller than you think. Like not only shorter, but like he has one of those Hollywood faces that just looks much bigger on camera. You know what I mean? But I didn't
Was
talk
Kirsten
to him.
Dunst there?
No, Kirsten Dunst wasn't there, but really, Power of the Dog was the name of the movie. He seemed very nice, you know, just very nice. But anyway, I'll only bring that up because Gibbons, we were back there also, and Gibbons might have spoken to him. I'm not sure. But what else? I guess we could talk about Gibbons. He hates when we talk about him on this podcast, so we should find something. We did make a lot of jokes about his back. So when we were getting into Mikey's car, I go, Dennis, do you want a backseat drive from the back or do you want shotgun? And he said, I'll take the back. And I was like, no, because then you're yelling in my ear. You have to be in the front. And he's like, Jesus, I get this reputation. He is the most controlling backseat driver in the history of backseat
you are
drivers.
both the most annoying drivers because you rely on Waze, and Waze is all it does. It makes you take 52 extra turns and you save 5 minutes. It's not fucking worth it. And it's all you talk about the entire drive. It's not like you kick back and listen to music and have some fun. It's like, no, left here. No, right there. It's fucking annoying.
No, that was that one drive. But I like doing Waze because it's my daily game of beat Waze. I can beat Waze. What's the posted time? It's like, you know, what's the current lap time on this course? I'm gonna beat it.
Right. All right.
All righty. Oh, there was a local news story. I guess do your paper
Okay.
thing.
Hold on. Yeah.
But I have no jokes on it. But since I put it in here, when I put it in here on Wednesday, the New York Times has done like a big story on it. So LA had this famous bridge. You'd see it in the movie Grease. You'd see it in any of those scenes where you see our concrete riverbed where there are drag races, which has been in quite a few movies and television shows. And anyway, it's the 6th Street Bridge, and LA spent $588 million, and they unveiled it, and it opened, and it looked so cool, and it looks so cool, and it opened 2 weeks ago. It is now closed because of all the illegal activity.
What illegal activity?
Everyone is going on there, filming stunts, filming them. There's racing, but they're filming themselves. They're climbing up where they shouldn't climb. There's a lot of crime on it. Also, it's like become this real attraction, and especially for like TikTok and Instagram. And so the New York Times article on it was LA's newest star, but they had to close it down. Also, so much graffiti and damage already. That's
$588 million on a bridge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be, I mean, that's the thing about Gavin Newsom, because, you know, Democrats talk about maybe he's somebody they would run. They have so much shit that they can throw in campaign ads against him.
Well, I wonder if it's the state. I don't know how that works. You know, those things are tricky. Like, let's say this bridge was also a landmark. I doubt the federal government helps it at all, but you don't know where the money's coming from.
Right.
And maybe there was even a preservation commission. I don't know if it was active. Like, was the $588 million all aesthetic? Or please tell me
a lot of times when
this helped traffic.
A lot of times when I load the document, I'll actually put the article in with the headline. I mean, it's different styles. We have different ways of doing it.
I will not do it. I will not do it. Let's move on.
Let's do some entertainment.
The bear still sucks. What's the next one? Nope.
We were sitting at dinner the other night. We were having a nice dinner. I barbecued. The kids had baked some cookies, and it was like 8:45, and we were all talking about how much we want to see Nope. And I pulled out Fandango, and it was playing at the theater in 15 minutes. We fucking jumped in the car and went. It is not his best movie.
Okay.
But that's not saying it's not a good movie. He's just had some outstanding movies, and this one was just good. It's very, it's a lot of homages. You feel his love for Spielberg in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
You feel some Tarantino. You feel, it's scattered. I feel like there are dangling storylines that you wanted him to get back to.
This is Jordan Peele
Yeah, this is Jordan Peele's movie.
and Get Out. And then what was his other one other than Get Out? That one about the underground.
At the amusement park.
Right. Not she. What was that one called?
Us.
Us. I knew it
Yeah.
was some pronoun. So, okay. The trailer's very good. I saw the trailer.
It makes for a great trailer because the scenes are all great scenes. The acting is all great acting. I just think ultimately it's not as coherent as it could be. I like that he doesn't go for any cheap scares, like the kind of cliched stuff he avoids, and he gets you in real ways. Great character development, but I'd say go see it, but don't expect his best movie.
All right. Today's Friday, and tonight it's on Fridays that HBO puts out each new episode of The Rehearsal by Nathan Fielder. So did you do your homework and watch the first one?
I did not.
Oh, Jesus.
I
So
know.
I can't even talk about it.
I know. I really feel bad about that, and I am going to. And by the way, we're also behind on watching that Mormon one. I've gotten a couple emails from people saying, "What the fuck? You guys said you're going to talk about it, and you haven't."
The documentary.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I started the show, what's it called? Under the Rainbow Sky or whatever. Of course I slaughtered it. But I started it, and I watched episode 1 and then learned that John Krakauer wrote the book. I love Krakauer, so that's what I want to see.
Into the Wild.
He wrote Into Thin Air, Into the Wild. I've read articles of his that didn't even become books, but I just love how he writes, and I really like him.
He writes
And
for
so
the New Yorker.
Under the
yeah.
Banner of Heaven, I think is maybe the name of it. And he
Okay.
wrote the book.
Yeah.
And so that is out also, and that is a drama version of a very disturbing Mormon story also. So there's a lot going on with Mormons. But we have to see the documentary, I guess.
Okay.
All
And
right.
what is this
Will you
Amazon thing? Did you put that in?
Oh, I
or
just
did
put that
Chris?
in there because this was a headline that Amazon. Huh? Am I frozen?
Or you just froze? What?
All right. I put that in there because I saw this headline. Amazon brings Timothée Chalamet cannibal movie to the Venice Film Festival. And it co-stars Timothée Chalamet and Michael Stolberg, who worked together on Call Me By Your Name. And the crazy part of this story is this is a new movie about cannibalism. But if you remember Armie Hammer, who was the star of Call Me By Your Name, he got in trouble for cannibalism. Remember the texts, the sexts he was writing and about, I'll eat your toe, I'll eat you. So everyone can't believe the coincidence that that movie and that team from that Armie Hammer movie is doing a movie on cannibalism. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. But here comes cannibalism. I could see a bunch of movies about that coming out, actually.
Yeah. All right, let's do some Make America Florida.
We got 2 of them, pal.
Let's do it.
I found 2 of them. A Florida man is behind bars on DUI charges for allegedly drunk driving a motorized scooter inside a Walmart where he nearly struck shoppers and crashed into shelves. Erin Gregory, 39, was busted around, wait for it, 10 a.m. Sunday inside a Walmart in Melbourne. Officials were summoned to the store, I guess Melbourne, Florida. Officials were summoned to the store. Reference to an intoxicated male on a motorized scooter was the call. So, 10 a.m.
I mean, the key to
on
Yeah.
a Sunday.
That's the key to the story. 10 a.m. on a Sunday. Like, you got to work backwards from that. He didn't wake up at 8. He didn't go to bed at 10 o'clock, wake up at 8 and start drinking. This was a guy, let's work backwards because there's some other crimes to solve. He go to the strip club, go to the nearest strip club to that Walmart, go to the ex-wife where he drops off his Burger King check for child support, the liquor store on Beach Road. This is the dessert to his evening.
I also want to know what motorized scooter means. What, like, did he drive like a Vespa into a Walmart drunk on a Sunday morning?
Yeah, right.
Or
right.
is it one of those little rascals?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's a rascal that he maybe it's Florida, so he probably put like a V8 on a rascal.
A giant John Deere lawnmower engine on a rascal?
Yeah, it's got an alligator skull on the handlebars.
Yeah. The most surprising part of this Florida story is where is the meth? Where is the meth or the crack that like fell out of his pockets when he wiped out in a Walmart?
Yeah, 10 a.m. is a meth crime. Heroin crimes happen at like 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
when they're trying to get their fix for the night and they rob you.
But I think I'd have to be drunk and on a scooter if I went to a Walmart. I've been to like 2 Walmarts in my whole life.
Same with me.
Literally. Although I'm guilty. I go to Costco all the time.
Maybe he's a good guy who went to church and had too much of the sacramental wine.
You'd get good odds on that bet. I bet you get fantastic odds, like maybe 5,000 to 1, something like that on that bet.
Right.
All right. Florida rapper killed minutes after calling out his enemies on social media. A Florida rapper was shot and killed at his apartment last Friday, just minutes after calling out his enemies on social media. Reports have identified the rapper as Rolly Bands, who was based, of course, in Tampa. Shortly before the shooting, the rapper had posted an Instagram story saying he was on his way home if they want to smoke, according to Hip Hop DX. He was reportedly
if they want
shot.
smoke.
Yeah, if they want smoke. And he was reportedly shot 5 minutes later.
That's efficiency. These gangs, I'll tell you something. Fortune 500 companies could learn from the efficiency of street gangs.
I mean, the old school, before technology, like 20 years ago, there would have to be a radio station that facilitated that killing. You'd have to be like, where are you calling? I'm home right now. If anyone wants smoke, get on over here.
Yeah. Gibbons asked me if I wanted smoke a couple days ago. I thought he wanted to get high. I guess I'm supposed to shoot him.
So that's what this is. You want smoke means you want to get shot?
Like you want some trouble? You want smoke? You want some gunfire?
Got it.
Yeah. All right, let's do international. Saudi Arabia.
All righty. This story was so weird. I was very good about putting the whole story in here and cutting it down to what it needed. And all right, so here was the headline. Future or fantasy? The designs have been unveiled for a one-building city stretching 106 miles in Saudi Arabia. So they've unveiled the designs for this ambitious urban project called The Line. It's touted as a one-building city in the desert, which will stretch over 106 miles and house 9 million people. The Line is a proposed 200-meter wide building acting as a vertical city. Did they mean horizontal? Anyway, it's designed to sit 500 meters above sea level. It will span 13 square miles. See, I thought it was a line, so it's 13 square miles. It could still be a line, I guess. Though details are scarce, true, those behind the design claim the line will run entirely on renewable energy with no roads, no cars, no emissions. High-speed rail will connect sections of the line. So they had a drawing of it, and I think they meant horizontal. And it's just picture a subway station, and there's houses along the subway station where it pulls into the station, and picture that station 106 miles long.
And how tall is it? That's what they don't talk about. Because
Yeah,
I think it's a tall building.
I know.
Here's
that's
the
where that
Here's the
vertical-
problem: is no journalists want to go to Saudi Arabia and cover the story. We know how that ends.
Yeah. And by the way, and they'll follow you home and kill you also, or follow you to Turkey and kill you.
So it's a high-speed rail. So I guess there's no cars. So both men and women won't be driving.
Also, they're calling it an urban project in the desert.
In the desert. Yeah.
How generous has this phrase urban? Is it just because it's hip?
Right. How do you know what neighborhood you're in? It's sand.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, it's glass. The whole thing is glass. And they say people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Well, there goes the whole Saudi penal system. That's a solid joke.
It does sound like a prison. Or
Yes, it does.
or Disney with a monorail.
Yes.
Same
Right.
thing.
It is. Yeah.
And they're touting all this renewable energy. I know it won't be renewed. Water. Right?
Yeah. Right.
9 million people in a stretch of sand. No, that's not environmentally friendly. That's not wise. And I doubt there'll be air conditioning.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? Even if you're using solar for your air conditioning, it's still huge amounts of air conditioning, which is terrible for the environment.
Yeah.
I'm not going to move there. I'm not going to move there. Sorry.
In Canada, the government made clear Wednesday that Pope Francis' apology to Indigenous people for abuses in the country's church-run residential schools did not go far enough, suggesting that reconciliation over the fraught history is still very much a work in progress. The official government reaction came as Francis arrived in Quebec City for meetings with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The government's criticisms concern France's omissions of any reference to the sexual abuse suffered by Indigenous children in the schools, as well as his original reluctance to name the Catholic Church as an institution bearing responsibility. Francis has said he is on a penitential pilgrimage to atone for the church's role in the residential school system, in which generations of Indigenous children were forcibly removed from their homes and forced to attend church-run, government-funded boarding schools to assimilate them into Christian Canadian society. The Canadian government has said physical and sexual abuse were rampant at the schools, with students beaten for speaking their native languages. Worse than that, they were forced to eat prairie oysters and play that stupid hurling game.
Forcibly removed from their homes and forced to attend church-run rapes.
Yeah.
That's what we're really talking
Yep.
about here.
Yep. As a way of making them better, of improving them. That was the whole Manifest Destiny. All of that shit was about taking this Christian doctrine and saving souls by raping children.
We talk about this a lot, that the Catholic Church, which is a business, is still in business. First of all, how about the balls on them? They haven't even rebranded. At least like private companies that are absolutely shamed and whatever. I should come up with examples off the top of my head, but like KP Anderson, not KP is a friend of ours, Anderson Consulting. I think they had a rebrand after all these scandals they were in, like change the name.
Right,
like,
right.
And it's like, they didn't even do that. Like there wasn't even, did they even consult? They're so powerful. I don't even think they had to consult PR people.
Right, right.
No, like we got it. No, we raped millions of children, but we got it. We got it.
Yeah, yeah.
And no big changes.
And then Francis comes along and makes the apology. I mean, I appreciate the effort, but it's almost insult to injury if you're not going to if you're not going to really apologize. Don't bother coming.
It is insult to injury, and it then begs this question. But I guess it's like, if they were really, really honest, then talk about having shame. The only move is to close down. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, it's the crazy. It's beyond crazy. Beyond crazy.
Yeah.
It's one of the giant questions of the world. I think it should be one of the biggest questions of the world.
Well, aren't they like the biggest landowners in the world, the Catholic Church?
Yep. And they may still be in New York City. I don't know. I think one of the colleges might have taken that over, but no, they were. I know they started selling a lot in part to pay these damages.
Yeah. Yeah.
And legal fees and everything. But no, they definitely were. In certain cities for sure.
Well, I'm going to Canada this week. I literally have been trying to think of jokes for when I go to Canada next week about this, and I'm kind of stuck. I can't really find anything too funny about it, except my one hacky joke I said at the beginning, which I think is beneath me and better than the Canadian people.
Well, if you do tank, I would apologize immediately so you don't have to go back and do an apology tour of all the venues you played.
Let's do a little sports.
Go Blue. Michigan football coach Jim Harbaugh had social media buzz with his remarks during an anti-abortion event last week where he was the guest speaker. He has since doubled down on his stance on ESPN, saying that he and his wife, so he is pro life big time, and now he's doubled down and he says that he and his wife will raise the baby if family members, players, or staff at Michigan should have an unwanted pregnancy.
This is kind of late.
So-
It's kind of late in the season to be drafting players, isn't it?
Late in the off season. Yeah, they're about exactly. But so far, 6 kids have rejected his offer and gone to Alabama.
I bet he gives the kid a lot of timeouts. But no, just three per half. He gives.
I mean, does any player have incentive to wear a condom at this point?
Yeah, right.
Thanks,
right.
coach.
Yeah. Everybody's trying to look for ways to get close to the coach, so
Yeah.
they get more game time. How about him raising your child?
And all of the, I wonder if it has to be 95% of the people he's talking about are men, because it's his staff, his players are obviously all men.
Yeah.
And then I guess family members, I don't know what that means.
Maybe his daughter's pregnant. This is his way of saying it.
Maybe. I mean, is he talking about his Michigan team family? Or I guess family members of the people who work for him, whatever. All right.
I guess his kid won't get sent to his room. He'll get red-shirted.
Yeah.
Science, technology, and health.
Ooh, what a big category.
Yeah, I added health to it for this story. A person from Rockland County has been diagnosed with polio. The first... What's happening in this country? The first states...
Move over, monkeypox.
The first time in nearly a decade, the unvaccinated young adult began experiencing weakness and paralysis a month ago. Serious symptoms include tingling and numbness in the legs, an infection of the brain and spinal cord, and paralysis. There is no cure for polio. I feel bad for the guy. Should Sunday Paper send him a gift? Maybe a Ralph Lauren polio shirt?
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, where's your apology tour for that joke? Oh, my God.
I mean, Jesus, didn't FDR have polio?
Yes, of course.
All right, here's the new deal. You won't be able to walk anymore.
Here's the new deal. Yeah.
The only thing we have to fear is fear itself and ignorant douchebags who won't get vaccinated.
Yeah, all we have to fear is fear itself and tingling at the extremities. I would definitely fear that at this point.
Can you imagine that? You see a guy in a wheelchair. How'd you get that? Polio. And people would just immediately lose all sympathy for you.
And also, is anyone believing his excuse when he calls in polio to work? Like, I don't think so. Or when he wants special treatment on an airplane, like, yeah, can I get a chair waiting for me? Oh, I have polio. Like, really?
Yeah, right.
I don't think so, sir.
All right, let's get to this day in history.
Oh, yeah.
1975, July 31st, labor leader Jimmy Hoffa is reported missing. He's one of the most influential American labor leaders of the 20th century. He failed to return home, and although he was believed to have been the victim of a mafia hit, conclusive evidence has never been found, and his fate remains a mystery. Born in 1913 to a poor coal miner in Brazil, India, Hoffa proved a natural leader in his youth. At 20, he helped organize a labor strike in Detroit, remained an advocate for downtrodden workers for the rest of his life. His charisma and talents as a local organizer quickly got him noticed by the Teamsters and carried him upward through its ranks. Then a small but rapidly growing union, the Teamsters organized truckers across the country, and through the use of strikes, boycotts, and some more powerful, though less legal methods of protest, won contract demands on behalf of workers. Anyway, on and on.
The Irishman covered this story.
But then he kind of fell in with the mob.
Kinda.
Yeah, he was very much in with the mob. And so he went to jail. He got out of jail. Nixon commuted his sentence, and he was ready to make a comeback, and he just fucking disappeared. And then the big question is always, where did they bury him? Where did they bury? People said under Giant Stadium. I remember that.
Yeah, the big rumor was that no matter where, he was in cement.
Yeah.
Because the mob controlled so much of the cement business, and that some big build like Giant Stadium. There was another rumor too. Was it in Ohio? Some other
Ohio.
place.
Right.
But I don't know. I mean, can't the mob just burn them in acid? I mean, isn't there a million ways?
Yeah.
Bottom of the ocean, it seems easy.
Well, the unions have never recovered. That was when the unions started fading, right around then.
I don't think he really would have worked hard for the Writers Guild, the Writers Union. I told you
No, I'll tell you what. When we were on strike, when we marched during our strike, truckers would tell us when they were going to make a delivery so that we could be there and block the entrances, and they would not block the entrances, but the rule was if there were people picketing, truckers will not cross the picket line. So they would notify us so we could be there, so they could say we're not crossing it.
So I was on one of those picket lines, right? And we're like marching, we're screaming our chants, and we want fair wages for writers and all that stuff. And and I'm with a pack of like these joke writers. And anyway, the big rig comes up, 18-wheeler comes to make the turn. We're like, "Woo, shit!" And we all got out of the way. And the guy hits his brakes, and he's like, "You gotta stay in my fucking way. Like, what don't you get about this?" Like, and reprimanded us because we all scattered like cockroaches to let him through. And he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And we're like, and he sees our blank face. He's like, "Stand there, fucking stand there." And as soon as the guy, we're kind of not getting it. And so we literally just, this guy's scary. And we literally then walk 5 feet and stand there. He's like, "Thank you." And he puts it in reverse and drives away.
That's awesome.
It was hysterical.
Yeah. Here's some letters from the editor. Brett Weaver says, in the past few episodes, I've noticed an odd effect when Mike laughs. It's a slightly audible clicking sound that comes from the back of his throat that implies laughter, but no real vocal laugh. It comes off as disingenuous. Just wondering, did something recently happen to him to make him laugh like this? Is it a real laugh? Does Mike feel obligated to force this odd sound effect? Thanks, Brett.
Brett, can it be genuous, if that's a word? Can it be genuine and still not be a whole-throated laugh? I don't know. I have heard this. My daughters accuse me of it, and writers' rooms have accused me of it. So I
get accused of it. I think anybody in the comedy industry, because the truth is, when you laugh, it's sometimes mental. It's sometimes like the big running joke at the Friars Club is if you do shows at the Friars Club, it's all comedians in the audience. And if it's a funny joke, they'll look at each other and go, that's funny. But nobody laughs. And so it's actually a generous gesture to go out of your head and show the person that you're listening to that you appreciate what they said.
Thank you, Gregory. Also, I think there's degrees of laughs, and I think that is, he's right. It's probably not, it's not literally a hard laugh. And so, but I think I've been amused by whatever's been said.
Yeah.
But, and the clicking in the back of my, that might just be the cancer, which I'm unaware of at this point.
Let's get to the obituaries.
Oh.
And that's all, folks.
This one's personal for you.
Yeah, Paul Sorvino was an actor known for his performances as Paul Cicero in Goodfellas and NYPD Sergeant Phil Soretta in Law & Order. He was also, speaking of the Friars Club, he was a big friar, and he and I were friends at the club, and we formed a team, and there was a billiards league in New York City, and different private clubs played each other. So he and I traveled around the city. We'd go to the Players Club. We'd go to the Yale Club. What's the one that's the Civil War Club? The really old one.
There's a Civil War Club?
Yeah, it's like for you. The Union Club. It's called the Union Club. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, we used to go win and we'd fucking win. He was really good. He was like from Brooklyn, had the pinky ring, and he had the fingers splayed out. You know, his bridge was very elegant. It was like a Jackie Gleason bridge. And
dude, hold on. Just listen. Just let's pause a second and reflect on this. You, Greg Fitzsimmons, there's no joke here. There's no joke coming. You would walk into pool competitions with Paul Sorvino carrying your cue sticks.
Yep.
It's like a scene out of a movie.
Yeah, right.
I mean, around Manhattan and stuff. Like, how cool is that?
And you know what he called me?
What?
Fitzdog. He loves calling me Fitzdog. Yeah. All right, Fitzdog. Nice shot. And he was also like a great singer. He would sing. He was a trained opera singer. He would sing sometimes when he'd have a private chef cook for us when we played tournaments at home at the club, and they'd bring in the greatest fucking Italian pasta, sausage and peppers,
Jesus.
and he would sing. We'd sit there and he'd fucking sing opera. It was amazing.
That's, insane. I mean, that's insane.
So he earned a Tony nomination for the Champion season. He was in Panic and the Needle, A Touch of Class, The Gambler, Oh God. But really, who can forget him? I mean, Paul Cicero in Goodfellas, one of the great characters of all time.
Yeah.
The way, just him slicing that garlic in prison with the razor blade.
Yeah, that went viral this week, that clip. And
so specific.
You have to understand one thing about movies like that. To stand out in that movie is remarkable.
Right.
It's like if you're really good, you're just going to be one in a list. I mean, it's the who's who of Italian American performances in that movie.
Right.
And then you have he had a gravity, and for you to be the one with gravity in one of De Niro's best roles ever, like that says so much. And
he did it so small, you know. He was powerful while barely moving, and then when he'd slap him on the face a little bit, you just felt this power. It was like a bear tapping you.
Yeah, and you had Pesci. I mean, that performance.
Yeah,
I mean, it's unbelievable.
Right.
So, I would. This week there was some list. I'm trying to remember who was in it, but it was like gangsters are taking it are getting it hit hard this week. Like all the actors who played
James
mobsters.
Caan, and then the guy that played Paulie Walnuts just died from Sopranos.
And more than that, I'm trying to remember who else. There was another big one, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, we got to keep it moving because we got to finish so I can do the Adam Carolla show.
You got it, Pally. Oh, Jesus Christ. What are we talking about? From Goodfellas, the lead guy. the lead guy from Goodfellas.
Oh, Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta. All right.
Let's cheer up as we do after the obituaries with the funnies.
Let's do it.
Somebody sent in Scott Adams, your guy from The Far Side, is a nut. Apparently, here's one of his tweets. Will the right-leaning press report that the January 6th insurrection allegations have been debunked by the hearings? No evidence found? Or are they also part of the gaslighting operation? What the fuck?
Wait, who are you saying this is?
Scott Adams, your guy.
What do you mean, my guy?
Isn't he the guy whose cartoons you always read?
Charles Adams from the Adams Family?
Oh, Charles Adams. So Scott Adams does another cartoon strip.
What just happened? Oh my God! No, Charles Adams is long dead.
Oh, all right. Do you think he's related to Scott Adams?
You need an apology tour for this.
How many corrections are we going to get on that one?
No, the spelling. There's two. Charles Adams has weird ADAAMS, I believe.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And Chris, can you look up which one does Scott Adams do? Maybe he's Dilbert. I think he's Dilbert.
Really?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Is that satire then?
Yes, it is Dilbert. No, it's not. He's a big Corolla guy too, he said.
Oh, then that is not satire. Okay.
Interesting. All right, Lockhorns. We got Loretta is putting on her makeup. Leroy is leaning against the door, and with an eye roll, he goes, "Wouldn't it be faster to use a roller?" That's not nice.
That's not nice.
We go to Andy Capp. She's sitting at the table, and she goes, "Where shall we go on holiday this year, pet?" And he says, "I'll leave it to you, Flo. After all, you've got good judgment." And she looks dead into the camera and goes, "I wouldn't say that. I married him." Wow.
Look at that fourth wall break.
Jesus.
And she calls him pet. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
have my wife
All right,
start calling me pet. I like that.
I might start throwing pet around, even to friends.
Yeah. All right.
It's very patronizing. I like it. So, all right. I'm seeing the top of it. I literally just see a blue sky and the dad's dumb head. So I did not bring my Charles Adams book with me. So I did not. And you said, I will find a family circus and put it in here.
Pick the first one I found. Like you do, I tried to stay true to your style. I picked the first one I saw.
I am going now to scroll down and take a look at this fresh. And I'll describe it to you and read it. Here we go. Okay, I'm not even going to read it. I'm looking at it. The dumb dad has his sunglasses and even he has his green shirt on, but all sky. And you can tell they're at the beach because the mom and the daughter are in the foreground. And the mom, I guess, is sitting there. And the daughter is run up, it looks like, and is saying something to the mom. The mom's in a bathing suit. She's in a bathing suit. Now I will read it. I hate it when daddy wears sunglasses because I can tell.
Can't tell.
Because I can't tell when he's winking. I'm not, none of this I am not acting right now. I don't even know what this is trying to fucking say.
Is dad a perv? I mean, what the fuck is he doing winking at his daughter? What is that all about?
She misses his winks? Are they implying that dad is winking at other women at the beach?
Oh, right.
I hate it when daddy wears sunglasses because I can't tell when he's winking.
Yeah.
I can't tell when he's winking. I honestly have no idea. Maybe someone can explain it.
I think there's a strip called Dysfunctional Family Circus or something, and where they do different kinds. Should we sample some of those? Maybe roll some of those out?
I don't even know if it's worth making fun of. I mean, look at this thing.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, okay.
All right, let's get to the girl I love. It's a table for four. Blondie's sitting there with the two kids and Dagwood, who's wearing a weird red shirt. And he goes, meatloaf. I ate meatloaf for lunch today at Lou's Diner. And she says, like a beaten down fucking shell of a woman, "Oh, I'm sorry, dear." And he goes, "It's okay. You know how much I love meatloaf." And she goes, "I have an idea. If you get me Lou's email, we can coordinate our menus in the future." And he goes, "I know you're joking, but that's actually a pretty good idea." I think we're seeing postmodern Blondie. We're starting to see sarcasm come in, and we're starting to see her pure vitriol for this fucking human bag of shit. She's not taking it anymore. "Hey, why don't you get me Lou's email? We can coordinate our menus." You fucking... Do you hear it? Do you hear her voice changing?
Yeah. Soon, though, I'd say a few drinks later, it's like, wait, I have an idea. You can go fuck yourself. How about that idea?
Hey, Dagwood, had a thought. Why don't you bend over and I'll take some meatloaf and stuff it up your tight, bony ass, you lazy fuck. Get a bonus.
By the way, I'm trying to think of insults. And my next one was going to be, I have an idea. I'm going to stick 6 meatloafs right up your fucking ass. And I realized all of it goes to the genitals. It's like, hey, load up and unleash on this guy. It's like, okay, it's going to involve his ass or his cock. Or mouth. I guess you would
why
something
don't
down
you give me
someone's
Lou's
mouth.
email, and then I'll start sucking his dick when he makes you the same meal as me.
Exactly.
How would that like? How about I stare you in the eye while I suck Lou's greasy diner dick?
I have an idea. Maybe it's time for me to come clean about all of Lou's meat. I've been over at his shop also. I was there right after you.
Yeah, he calls it a meatloaf. That's what he calls it.
Yeah.
You want some meatloaf, Blondie? All right, listen, I got to roll. Gibbs, have fun in Nashville.
You got it, Pally.
I'll see you. I may not see you for a while because I leave on Sunday. Oh, no, I'll see you on Wednesday or Thursday.
Of
All
this
right.
coming week.
Yeah, I go. Me and the wife are doing our our anniversary this weekend
Where'd
in
you
Lake
decide?
Arrowhead. Lake Arrowhead. We got a house on the lake.
Oh, nice.
And then we come back on Tuesday, and then I leave Thursday. No, I leave. Oh no, Thursday night I'll see you at your sister's party.
Oh, that's right. Ooh,
Yeah.
thanks for reminding me. That's right.
And then Friday I go to Canada.
I'll talk to you about it Thursday, but I need to hear about the Louie shows in Canada.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I'm psyched to hear about that.
All right,
Hey,
God bless.
And wait, did you watch the new hour, right?
Yes, it's great.
I haven't seen
great.
the movie yet. I want to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, the movie's really good too. I saw it in the theaters. It's excellent. Excellent. It would have done so well if he got a major release. It's like The Big Sick. It's got comedy, it's got heart, it's got funny fucking scenes. It's a shame, but whatever.
Damn. All right. Well, I got to see it.
All right, man.
All righty.
I'll
Take
see
it,
ya.
Ish.
Take it, Ish.
It's the Sunday Papers Podcast with Mike and Greg. Read all about it